What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Paste Studio here in Midtown Manhattan, New York City. We're broadcasting to you live from the Manhattan Center here on 34th Street, as we do every single day, several times a day. And we are really, really pleased to welcome back to the studio Steep Canyon Rangers.
Yeah.
What is going on, guys?
Good afternoon.
Nice to be back.
Yeah, man, it's so good to have you guys back in the city, back in our room. So last time you guys were here, you were playing with some guy whose name I forget. You now have a new record out. Well, it came out in January, but it's the Steep Canyon Rangers record. It's called Out in the Open. We're going to hear 3 songs from that record today. So let's get it started off with a song, man. Tell me a little bit about what we're doing first.
Yeah, we're going to do one off the record called Can't Get Home. Is the name of this song. And, you know, in making this record, there were a lot of really, I don't know, this is a very unique record for us to make, and maybe we can talk about it a little more later. But there are a lot of emotional sort of high points, you know, and a couple low ones is making the record as well. But, you know, this is one that hopefully on the record it comes through true. And we'll give it a shot for you right now.
Cool.
Nowhere to hide in here.
It's called Can't Get Home.
Cuss in my mama's house. So for the night I just shut my mouth. And she hadn't lived here in a year or more, but I still stand a little straighter when I walk in the door. There's a fresh coat of paint on the kitchen wall. How it looked before I scarce recall. I didn't fight no war, and everywhere I went all the locals stared, and it felt good feeling like a stranger there. I can't unsee what I've been shown. My body's bent and my mind is blown, and I never was ready for the things I know. I can find the house, but I can't get home. dogwoods blooming like they always did. And the roof still leaks on the garden shed. And the sign in the yard says it's all been sold. But I gave it away a long time ago. I can't unsee when I've been shown. My body's bent and my mind is blown. And I never was ready for the things I know. I can find the house, but I can't get home. I can walk in the door, but I can't get home. I can sleep in the bed, but I can't get home.
The crowd goes wild. That's right. Crowd goes wild. I know you guys did the Tonight Show last night. This has got to be at least as big an audience, right?
You know, that's a smaller room than I imagined it being. So yeah, this is about the same size audience.
And I
here.
think, you know, tuning in, we probably compete with the Tonight Show. I don't know. What do you think? Yeah?
As far as viewers,
As far as total viewers, like around the world, I'd say, I mean, we got at least, I don't know, 7 or 8.
you got as many cameras as they have.
Yeah, all right. Well, you know, keeping up somehow. Cool. So that was a track from the Steep Canyon Rangers off Out in the Open. Can't get home. So, you know, you were talking a little bit about before you played that song about some of the emotions running through this record. That was one song that stood out for me, as well as the one cover on this album, as a Dylan cover, "Let Me Die in My Footsteps." They seem to kind of go together in terms of their subject matter. But there are other things on the album that, you know, definitely sort of struck a chord. You know, some of it is traditional kind of Americana music kind of subjects. Others seem a little bit more relevant to the modern day. What do you guys go for when you're putting together a collection of songs?
I mean, I think relevance is really important. You know, bluegrass has a tradition and a theme that can kind of come around often. And I think as we've grown as a band and these guys as songwriters that we can be more relevant now in our subject matter, whether it's life experience or what's happening now. And I don't know, it rings a little bit more true when you're doing something that you can relate to, as opposed to singing about being moonshiners, which we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't help but be a product of your time, you know? Yeah. I mean, that's what you do. You're writing these songs, putting together these songs, and for things to resonate a lot of times, I mean, it requires like some way for people to get in, and, you know, like we share a lot of experience, you know, both, you know, amongst this band, this amount of time we spend together in our history together. And I think similar things probably resonate throughout the band. You know, if it hits one person, it generally, you know, strikes the rest of us as well.
Yeah. Was there something for this record in particular? Because I think, is this number 10 for you guys in terms of non-Steve Martin associated Steep Canyon Rangers records?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, when you guys gather to put together, you know, 12 more songs and put out a record, I mean, is there something you kind of like put your heads together in terms of, you know, some kind of a through line, something that this record is, you know, gonna say, or, you know, emotions that you're all kind of feeling at that one time, or does it all come from different parts, different songwriters, different guys?
you know, it's both. I think the through line at any time, sonically and emotionally, is just kind of where we all are as musicians and where we are as a band. Because a lot of the raw ideas or the seeds of a song will come to the band, and then the finished product comes from the band. So the sort of the through line is who we are as people and as artists during that writing phase. And so, but then again, you know, I mean, all the songs are written from different people, so there's a through line that's us, distinctly the Rangers, but everything can pop off in different directions because there's, you know, many different creative elements that brought that to the table. But I think we are the through line at any given point. The album's going to sound like who we are at that time. It's just a snap. It's a Polaroid.
Yeah.
I think the production's probably for sure of this record, you know, is a unique kind of production.
That's true.
Moment, which I think is like has a lot of sonic, but also kind of like emotional, I think, continuity to it. The record was made really quick. You know, he made it in like 3.5 days. Just
Basically
very
like
much
this.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I was going to ask you about that, but before I do, I want to play another song so
right.
that I can ask you about that after that song.
All right, cool. Let's do it.
All right, cool. So we're going to do a couple more. These, of course, are Steep Canyon Rangers. Tell me a little bit about the next song we're going to do.
This is the opening track on the record. It's the first one we recorded. You know, when we got in the studio, the producer said, "Don't throw one away here. Come out with something that you believe in." And this is the one that Graham wrote with a friend of ours, Sarah Siskin. Features some nice guitars. One called "Farmers and Pharaohs."
Cool.
All you farmers and pharaohs, don't let your untrue love go. And she will comfort you in your darkest dreams. She will wash all your troubles clean. I learned the hard way, now it's too late. If I could take back that very day, if she goes, I come going. She runs, she will not run alone. If she falls, I fall with her. This time, I will not let her go. And all those crops that we planted, how I took them for granted. By the time I turned and looked to see, there was nothing but dust beneath my feet. And I learned the hard way, now it's too late. If I could take back that very day, if she calls, I come calling. She runs, she will not run alone. If she falls, I fall with her. This time, I will not let her go. I learned the hard way, now it's too late. If I could take back that very day, if she calls, I come calling. She runs, she will not run alone. If she falls, I fall with her. This time, I will not let her go. This time I will not let her go. All you farmers and pharaohs.
Guys, thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah, man.
So we were going to talk about the way that this album came together. And the thing that I was sort of surprised when I was reading about it is that, you know, so I was reading that. So Joe Henry produced this record, and he basically said like he wanted you guys to record this thing essentially live around a microphone, much like we are doing right now. And the only thing that was surprising to me about that was that you had not really done that before, or this wasn't something that you had it wasn't a process you had used to make albums in the past, because it seems like a pretty natural way to record this style of music. So how'd you guys take to that approach?
Well, I think it was exciting, to think about the idea of it, partially because in the past, at least the last 4 or 5 records we've done it in kind of an isolated scenario where you're in isolation and you can repair your stuff and take it as many times as you want and come back later and work on it, and that's a good process. I mean, it works, but it's not necessarily the process that, in this case, captures what this band really is about, which is live performance.
Yeah.
And so this was a really fun, honest way to make a record for
Were you
us.
in any way like reluctant to go this way? Because if you make a record in that short amount of time and you're recording it sort of live and you're not in a booth doing it over and over again, you at some point you got to be like, that's the one, we're done.
Yeah.
And this is what the record's going to sound like. I mean, was there any hesitation to go that way?
I think there's always that, no matter which way you record. At some point, you got to go with what you've got.
Yeah.
But I think with this, we hired a great producer in Joe Henry, and if you don't listen to your producer's advice, why have him there? So he kind of pointed us in a great direction, and I mean, what do y'all think?
Yeah, I mean, we'd done the musical parts of it live before. When we recorded up at Levon's barn, we recorded most of the music live in the room. But, the vocals live was a big change for us. And I think maybe coming up through bluegrass where, harmony vocals are so present and there's such like a really high standard on harmony, and they're, it's just a really prominent part of that music that, having that picture perfect was always something that we'd really focused on a lot. And I don't think at any one point in the recording process did Joe ever mention
the word
harmony
harmony
vocals, like whether it was in tune or
Yeah,
not.
right. Or picture perfect.
Right. Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
That was the enemy
like
of
feeling. Did
what
it
we were
have the
doing.
right feeling?
Yeah,
the right
yeah, right.
emotion,
Yeah.
So I mean, with the record done and you haven't done it that way, especially with those harmonies, I mean, does it sound different to you guys? And like in the not the quality of the harmonies, but somehow the way that your voices intertwine together, having them all around one mic, do you hear that difference?
Yeah. I mean, it's comparatively to the last recorded efforts, absolutely. Because you always got a chance to go back and just do it, I don't know, right. But what's right now, because, I mean,
Right.
what we were capturing, like Mike was saying, is more of a vibe this time than trying to make your part perfect. I mean, there's so much perfection out there. Why not just be who we are?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's pros and cons, I think, to both styles of recording, But I think it was the right thing for us to do at the right time. I think we were ready to do it, even if at first we were kind of like, really?
Yeah. You guys ready to go back now to the old way?
No, I think we've already started a new project, and we're kind of going at it with the same approach.
Yeah, cool.
Go ahead.
I was super reluctant from a soloist standpoint. What I play is a solo, and what I play is just backup to verses and choruses. I might have a completely different arc to what I played on one pass versus another pass. And when it comes down to it, the one that gets picked tends to be the one with the cleanest, most whatever, or vibey vocal track. And so we'll say, oh man, cut number 3 was the one for the vocals. And I was like, man, well, I really liked what I played behind you on pass number 2, and that ends up
A lot of
not-
horse trading going on.
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah,
of
Now
horse
you're getting it. Now you're feeling the inside of really how it went down.
Yeah. You guys got to make like a live album, and then everyone, but do like a live album every night, and then everyone gets their perfect
Put
record.
it all out there.
Yeah, that's right. Put it all out there. Cool. We're gonna do one more song with Steep Canyon Rangers, all off this new record out in the open. Tell me a little bit about what we're closing out with.
Roadside Anthems is the name of this tune. And it's been fun, some of these tunes, since we recorded them, and playing them live, I think it's pretty natural, for a lot of bands to do it. But, it's, a lot of these tunes have grown a little bit, since we recorded them. And, this is one that's grown a little bit. And, yeah, it's just sort of a tale. I wrote it about, about a woman, but I think it could probably just easily be about a guy and just sort of, how we, where we find ourselves. I wrote a bunch of lyrics to it, and yeah, just leave it at that because I can't explain it any better.
So wait, what's it about?
Shut up, Mike.
Hey, you don't always want to know what it's about. That ruins it for the listener.
Yeah, it's about a guy and/or a girl.
It could be.
It's about something.
Here we go.
She startled so quick, like a little bird in a patch of thorns. She comes flying out of a dream, back into the room with me with the TV on. Under her breath, there's still something left of a song. Thought she'd be, never thinking it would take so long, and she's singing all her roadside anthems, singing all her broke down hymns, talking about that Golden Gate, sure sounds handsome. Tell me how do we get there? This American blood won't let you find no rest. Comes running through your veins like an 8-lane highway into the west. Hot on the trail where the freedom is real as the miles, oh the miles. About settling down just to catch your breath for a little while, for a little while, and she's singing all her roadside anthems, singing all her broke down hymns, talking about that Golden Gate, sure sounds handsome. Tell me how do we get there? Halfway home, and she's singing all her roadside anthems, singing all her broke down hymns, talk about that Golden Gate, sure sounds handsome. Tell me how do we get there? Yeah, tell me how do we get there? Tell me how do we
Yeah, guys, thank you so much. That was a great one to end on. You know, it makes me wonder, just on a quick one, like, so now you guys are playing these songs every night, almost every night. The record's been out a little while. Are you guys all playing, like, your perfect pass from, you know, like, every night now? I mean, like,
I
this
think
is
we're
your...
surpassing our perfect pass every night.
That was
Yeah,
the perfect pass.
that was it, right? That was it. That was the one. We're going to superimpose it back on there. Cool. Steve Canyon Rangers, the new record came out in January. It's called Out in the Open. There is a tour afoot right now. So you guys are in New York for a few days. Tonight and tomorrow night, you guys are appearing at the Beacon Theater with your two sidekicks, Steve Martin and Martin Short,
Yes.
as they do whatever it is they do. And then on Sunday at the Bowery Ballroom, just Steve Canyon Rangers. So you guys can check them out in one of those three places here in the city. And then there are more dates to be found, many more dates to be found at stevecanyon.com. So go there for all that, plus all kinds of songs and videos and info and stuff. And pick up Out in the Open, which came out in January.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you so much for returning to the Paste Studio.
Thanks for having us.
And, you know, as I always say, and I always mean it, come back and please play for us again another time, all right?
Many thanks. Many
All right,
thanks.
guys,
Love
thank
doing
you.
this.